Hey there! Before we dive in, just a quick favour to ask. If you're enjoying the show, don't be shellfish. Please take a moment to rate and review it wherever you're listening. It helps more people find us in the big blue ocean of podcasts. You can also support us by hitting that follow or subscribe button, following us on Instagram at Word on the Reef Podcast, and sharing the podcast link with a friend who might love it too. And if you'd like to help keep us afloat, please consider becoming a patron for as little as $5 a month over at patreon.com/wordonthereefpodcast. You'll get a shout out on the show, and your support helps cover the behind the scenes costs like hosting, editing software, and more. Thanks so much. Now let's get into today's episode. Before we start this episode, I'd just like to acknowledge the Gimoy Walubara Yidinji people and the Irukandji people on whose land this podcast is recorded, as well as the other 70 traditional owner groups whose sea country makes up the Great Barrier Reef, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Word on the Reef. I'm your host, diver and marine conservationist, Tanya Murphy. And joining me, as always, is Cairns Aquarium's marine educator and fish whisperer, Brett Goodban.
Good morning. It's nice to be back.
Good morning, Brett. Now, before we dive in with today's guests, a quick community notice. Registrations have officially opened for the 2025 Great Barrier Reef Cleanup, an initiative of Tangaroa Blue Foundation, whom we featured on this show back in May. This October, schools, businesses, community groups and individuals across the reef catchment can host their very own cleanups at their local beach, creek, river or reef. Participants receive free cleanup kits and support to organise their event. Last year, more than 1,800 volunteers removed over 97,000 items of marine debris across 147 cleanup sites. That's a lot of junk out of the ocean.
Absolute legends, yeah.
Yeah. So if you'd like to join the fight against marine debris this year and do something great for the reef, register your cleanup at reefclean.org. Do it for the turtles, do it for the dolphins, do it so future generations don't think coral grows on Coke cans.
Yes, absolutely.
But now I'm extra excited today because we've got not one, but two special guests joining us. Here in the studio is a man who knows his way around a scuba tank better than most of us after 30 plus years of diving. It's Dave George, Secretary of the Cairns Nautilus Scuba Club. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Dave.
Brett.
How are you, buddy?
Well, thank you.
Great to have you on. Now, later in the show, we're going to chat with Dave about all the amazing things the Nautilus Scuba Club is doing and why it's the perfect place for anyone who dives or wants to start diving to get involved. But first, quick question. Have either of you ever laughed so hard while you were snorkeling or diving that you swallowed half the ocean?
I have definitely stolen a bit of the ocean, definitely.
Yeah, for me.
There's no doubt about it. Some of that, not only from my fellow snorkelers and divers, but from some of the antics of some of those creatures.
That's right.
Yeah, sea creatures are pretty funny, but I will admit that watching other people diving snorkeling can also generate some giggles.
Fins on their hands.
So all I could say is never look at a cuttlefish the wrong way when it's got a glint in its eye, because one head-butted me one time and that caused me to lose my regulator pretty much. It was pretty unexpected and kind of funny. So yes, if you love to laugh and you love sea creatures, we've got just the show for you. Australian comedian Kirsty Webeck is currently touring with her live stand-up show called Everything I Need to Say About Sea Creatures. And she's bringing it to Cairns this Sunday night and various other towns along the Reef Coast and around Australia as well after that. The show won the weekly Best Comedy Award at Perth Fringe World earlier this year, and Kirsty's been cracking up audiences across the country with her unique marine musings. You may also recognise her from the Melbourne Comedy Festival, ABC's Question Everything, and many other places, live, TV and radio. And she's joining us now, live on the phone line. Good morning, Kirsty. Welcome to Word on the Reef.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Morning, Kirsty. Thank you for joining us. It's really special.
Pleasure.
Yes, great to have you on the show. Now, Kirsty, why did you decide to do a comedy show about sea creatures?
Because I am obsessed with the ocean. Basically, when I'm not touring around or doing radio or telly, that's where you're going to find me.
Yep.
And it was a bit of an in-joke with some of the people who attend my shows year in, year out, because they observed that the last few shows I'd written had ended on sea creatures despite being about absolutely nothing to do with sea creatures.
Just somehow they
Love
always
that.
end up making their way into
Yeah.
every conversation. I have that problem as well.
Yeah, me too.
I can imagine. So I wrote the 1 hour show as a sort of joke between them and I about, like, I'm just going to write a 1 hour show and get it over and done with, but I think I've failed because I haven't crammed it all in, and I know that they're going to creep into future shows as well.
Oh, well, look, once you let them in, that's it.
So you are originally from Canberra, which is not right by the sea. How did you come to have so much to say about sea creatures?
You're right. It's famously inland.
Yes.
There are very few marine creatures to be discovered in Lake Burley Griffin. So
There's a few on the.
There's a
in the
few land
Parliament, though.
creatures down there, though, isn't there?
yeah, good on you. You got the bait perfectly there. I was waiting for a Capitol Hill reference. A lot of trips to the New South Wales South Coast when I was growing up. So, yeah, we spent a lot of time down around, like, Bateman's Bay, Maruya, like those kind of areas when I was growing up. And so spent a lot of time out in the water, sort of swimming and bodyboarding and snorkeling, as kids do. It's not until you're older that you realise that snorkeling is supposed to be done where there's actually sea creatures to be seen. Or at least coral or you know, some sort of living entities.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. Like, spent a lot of time doing that. And then, you know, as I got older, I travelled the world quite a bit when I was in my 20s, and I was lucky enough to get to go out and do some snorkeling around Thailand and the Philippines and South America and some places like that. So that really got me going then, and I've never looked back.
Wow. You're a very well-snorkeled individual. So now we don't give away any spoilers from your upcoming show, but do you have any bonus stories about sea creatures, since you said that you couldn't fit all your stories into your show?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, sure. I've got...
And keeping in mind we've only got 1 hour here today.
Trust me, we could do a 5-hour show. Easily.
Yeah, we're going to have to create a weekly segment for
Oh, done. Yep.
Well, I mean, the first thing that sprang to mind is that I mentioned before that my last few shows ended accidentally on sea creatures. So last year I was touring a show called I'll Be the Judge of That, which you can watch for free on YouTube. And I had a conclusion to that show that had nothing to do with sea creatures. And then I heard a story after about my 5th show.
Yep.
I heard a story on the radio and I was like, oh, that's got to go in. I've got to somehow shoehorn that into this show.
Yeah.
And it was a fact about whales that I didn't know. And the story was there was a pod of sperm whales off the coast of Albany in WA, and there were some killer whales nearby waiting to sort of attack. And the sperm whales all sort of banded together and they did a defensive defecation.
Oh, fair income. Like a defensive poo, you're saying?
A defensive poo. So they did a group poo.
Dave's absolutely lost it next to me.
It's okay, you can laugh into the microphone there.
All right.
He's covering
I'm
his mouth.
not sure on the protocol here. But yeah, I'm trying to laugh into my elbow.
I just thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, they've gotten to a point where they're like, all right, if we're in grave danger, just as a community, we'll get together and just do one massive ocean poo, and it'll creep the predators out, and it worked.
Well, look, there's nothing worse than swimming through whale poo, you know?
Does it help you get personal space when you're snorkeling as well, to do that kind of thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon it's worth a try.
Brett's pretending he's never tried it.
Yeah, move on, please.
Well, you know, sometimes when you go snorkeling with a group of tourists, it can get quite crowded.
Well, you know, if you're diving for 2 hours in the Coral Sea, your man's got to go, you know?
Absolutely.
So it worked. The happy ending to the whale story. They saved their own lives through the defensive poo. So if everyone poos in unison, we could actually stave off all of the you know, wars and troubles of the world.
Yeah, maybe we'll evolve into this, you know, I think, as a species. Yeah.
If only you had such a defensive mechanism at hand when you're snorkeling in Thailand, Kirsty, because I understand you got attacked by a coral.
Oh, did you?
I did, and I'm so glad that you brought this up because obviously humour's reductive. So in my show, I just had to sort of fleetingly address that I'd cut my foot on coral, but I like being able to tell the broader story because, as you would well know, that's the last thing we want to do when we're out snorkeling or diving is touch the coral
Yes.
in any kind of way. And I was the victim of a freak wave when I was going over a pretty shallow bit of reef, and I almost evaded it, very almost, but I did scrape my foot just on the very top of a bit of coral, and it's not a good thing to do for the coral and also for you.
What was it a wave of? Was it a wave of ocean or whale poo that got you?
Thank you for asking. It was actually
Yes, you're
whale
welcome.
poo.
Then you were really in the poo.
That's called a poonami.
A poona. Oh, stop it. We got poonami out. You need to put that in your show. Thanks, Dave.
Well done. 10 points.
Good job.
Yeah, so it was fine at the time, and it was kind of a really superficial little cut, and then, long story short, it was actually a couple of weeks ago that it really flared up.
Oh, yeah, it can
And
get badly infected.
Yeah. It looked totally fine. Like, it was healing just normally, like any kind of superficial little cut would, and then, it was like 2 weeks later that I woke up and it was in pain, and then I had a look at it and I was like, oh no, that does not look good. And, I went down to the doctor and I ended up on some pretty hectic antibiotics for a while, so...
Wow, the ocean strikes back.
Oof.
Not that you've probably done anything to deserve it, apart from telling the stories.
I've tried not to.
Giving out the darkest secrets of whales.
Yeah, humiliating the whales is what you get in return.
Yeah.
So is it all right now? Have you got part of Thailand inside your toe?
Yeah, there's a beautiful coral reef.
Oh, so if you're in the bath, you've got your own reef with you.
That's right. Yeah, I pop a couple of tropical fish in there with me, and it's happy days for
Nice.
them.
Kirsty, I understand you recently returned from a holiday to Ningaloo Reef in Western Australia, where it is currently whale shark season.
Oh, yes.
So,
Sure is.
for any listeners who aren't aware, whale sharks are a type of shark which grow up to 20 metres long, but are completely harmless as they only eat plankton, hence the name whale shark. Every winter they migrate to Ningaloo Reef, and tourists come from all over the world to swim with them. And it's on my bucket list. I've never actually been, but Kirsty, you were lucky enough to have that experience just a few weeks ago. Can you tell us about it?
Oh, yeah. It was probably the most incredible thing I've done in my whole life. So, we went about 3 weeks ago. And we went because it was a bucket list item for my partner, and I bought vouchers a few years back to go over. And it was obviously a bucket list item for me as well because it blew my mind. But it was so cool. We went out in the morning and, we stopped at a couple of bombies on the way out, I'm sure just to make sure that we could all actually swim. And I had some cool snorkels like around those for a bit and, saw a few reef sharks and stuff, and that was already awesome. And then by the time we got back on the boat, the spotter plane had gone up, and we stayed on the boat for about an extra half hour, and then we reached where they'd found a whale shark, and we got in and swam with her 4 times.
Wow.
And it was absolutely incredible, exhilarating. Like, they're so beautiful. Apparently she was a small one, and we just had to take their word for it. I was like, well, she seems pretty large to me, but okay. And they're wonderful over there. They're very much driven by conservation and care for all of the creatures on the reef.
Yeah.
All of the people on the boats just adore Ningaloo Reef, and it's very heavy on the education side, which is exactly how we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So it did not disappoint. But of course, they tell you that you've got to stay several metres away from the whale shark and whatever, but the whale shark doesn't know that. So you spend a bit of time in the water frantically trying to get out of their path.
Yes. Yeah.
Dave was doing some mime, actually.
Motor gives way to sail.
For all those who can't see what Dave's doing, he was miming the
Going backwards.
international signal for trying to swim backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got other people around you as well who are like contributing to it being difficult to actually get away from the whale shark. So, we spent a bit of time doing that, dodging her, but, amazing.
It's really special for us. Like, there's a fair bit of diving experience in this studio right now. The ocean's been our life, and it's so special to hear people that have experienced that connection for the first time. It's like, welcome to the family. That's what it feels like to us. It's just so cool.
Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, that's lovely. It was definitely a life-changing kind of moment. Like, I was already deeply invested in the ocean and, marine life, but that really stepped it up a level.
So glad you got to see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I get a really warm feeling from hearing things like that.
It does, doesn't it?
People getting that life-changing experience.
Yeah.
Because we've all
welcome to
experienced
the
something like that. Yeah.
It was just the most grounding and...
It's humbling, isn't it?
It's really humbling, and there'll be few experiences in your life where you're as present as you are when you're down there in the ocean and your senses are dulled a little bit because you're underwater and you're so in that moment, and then you've got this awareness that you're sharing this moment with just this incredible creature, like whatever it is. But the whale shark was particularly special. And then a couple of days later, because we were over on the Coral Coast and, we'd been absolutely mesmerised by that experience, we of course had to try and get in with the manta rays, which we also did.
Awesome.
And that was also incredible.
Wow. Yep, you've ticked a few things off the bucket list. Any listeners out there that haven't already are probably Googling how to get to Ningaloo Reef, because the whale shark season is still going right now.
Yes.
And so you mentioned how passionate all of the tourism workers are about educating tourists about protecting those creatures. And for you, Touring Australia, sharing these stories about sea creatures, they're obviously going to lighten up everyone's day. But do you think it might help people to connect with sea creatures a bit more and be a bit more interested in protecting what's in our oceans as well?
I hope so, yeah. I mean, one sort of a secondary benefit that I've noticed is when I tour the shows around, a lot of people come and they discover me for the first time, and then they tend to get onto your social media. And then while I was up there holidaying on the reef, I was posting some of my photos and things, and, people were sending me DMs and whatever, and were like, it's so cool how into the ocean and the sea creatures you are, like, please keep posting more photos. And so many people were engaging with the photos that I put up from my trip, and I'm like, if that's something that helps people become more interested in it, like, I just want people to be more conscious of it from a conservation perspective as well. It's like, if people develop that passion and that love for what's living in there, that's the only way that you can get them to care about.
That's exactly it. Education leads to conservation, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And you've got to really be able to show them what it is that's being impacted by our actions, and, our pollution or whatever, like us leaving our Coke cans down on the beach, like whatever it is. I mean, so, I feel passionately about it. Yeah,
imagine a world where whales cannot do group defecation. Like, nobody wants that.
I can't go there, Tanya. I'm sorry.
It's just too depressing to think about.
Save the Poonamis.
I'm already designing the T-shirt.
He's already got a T-shirt and ready to go. That's a Nautilus Club new logo. Poonami.
Protect the whale's right to a Poonami.
Oh dear. Okay.
Okay, so unfortunately for any Cairns listeners, I understand your Cairns show is already sold out. So if any listeners want to see your show, will there be any other opportunities, Kirsty?
Well, yeah, look, I mean, if anyone's desperate to see it, like, jump on my website, get on my contact page, send me an email, whatever. We'll see what we can do. It's actually the first time that I've sold a show out in Cairns.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really stoked about it because I've been coming up there for a few years, and this is the first time we've hit that tipping point. But, if anyone's super keen to see it and really gutted that they've missed out, then a couple of people have already emailed me, and it's just, if we know, then I can take it to the venue and I can see if there's any way of us putting on a second show or something. But, yeah, we've just basically got to know that there's enough people that are keen to come down. So, yeah, hit me up if you're thinking I'm desperate to come along.
Okay, look, I just love your type of comedy. It's very similar to how I do my shows at work. You're just having a chat to a bunch of people at the pub and having a few laughs. But I would like to point out a couple of things. One, very quickly before you go. Now, I watched your show, and does this mean that now we get to meet up at the same time at the studio every year, or do we need to go to someone's house to do that? And section 2... I thought I was the only person terrified of trifle. That has made me so happy. If even the word makes me want to faint, I hate it.
Yeah, we're a group of trifle
We are
non-supporters.
non-triflers.
Speak for yourself.
We got one.
That makes me so happy. Oh, what? Is that Dave? Is Dave keen on a trifle?
Yeah, Dave doesn't
Well,
like a trifle.
it's been a few years, but, you know, it takes me back to my grandmother's sherry.
I nearly fell off the couch when I heard you say that. I thought, oh my God, that's hilarious.
Dave, the door's over there.
Yeah, there's the door, mate. Take your trifle and leave.
Yeah, get out of the studio. That's made me very, very happy. So that's from my YouTube special on
Yes.
I'll be the judge of that. And,
So funny.
And thanks so much for watching it. But that's been the one big takeaway that people had from that show last year. Like, even this year, people are yelling out at me at shows about trifle.
Oh, that's so cool.
Do you guys ever find that what is nowadays considered the most beloved delicacies were all invented during the Great Depression, when all they could do was just like, what's left over in the fridge,
chuck
we'll
it all
just
in the
throw
bowl.
it all together,
Yeah.
and just whatever it is, just throw it all together, and then we end up with this monstrosity that now everyone loves.
Yeah, and it's like back in those days, I totally get it, but you know, we can let go of it and move on.
I just have visions of my grandma walking up the driveway with a big trifle and me hiding under the bed.
Oh yeah, me too. Like, I won't tolerate it.
Nah, me either.
So there you go, everyone.
We're starting a movement.
We're happy to jump in the water with
Yes.
20-metre long sharks,
Yes.
but will not
Yeah.
be around a trifle.
Give me a great white, fine trifle, terrified. Hate it.
So, Kirsty, we're coming up to the end of the first half of the show. Where can people follow you and see some of your stuff online?
Yeah, awesome. So I'm Kirsty Webeck, just on all social media platforms,
Yep.
and website's kirstywebeck.com, and you can look me up on YouTube as well at Kirsty Webeck. And I've got a bunch of clips, and I've got that whole hour featuring the dreaded trifle bit.
If you do love trifle, you'll still enjoy the show, don't worry.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely, I'm on your side. Yeah, but otherwise, hit me up. If you're one of those people who wish that you'd managed to get tickets to this show, do send me an email or something, and we'll see if there's anything that can be done this weekend.
Yep.
Fantastic. Wow. So I think if we want to break down barriers and get people thinking about and taking an interest in and connecting with sea creatures, even if it is over their disgusting habits, I think we need to be using every avenue possible, and humour is one of the best ways to do that. So I strongly encourage all our listeners to check out Kirsty Webeck and book in for one of her live shows if you can. So yeah, Kirsty Webeck, creator of the comedy show Everything I Need to Say About Sea Creatures. Thanks for all the stories, and thanks for joining us on Word on the Reef today.
Thanks for having me, legends. You're the best.
Yeah, thank you so much, and well done on the sellout show.
Yeah, I'll see you at the show on Sunday.
Thanks, mate.
All right,
Awesome.
buddy.
Take care, legends.
Hey, bye.
Our next guest on the show today is Dave George. He has been diving for around 30 years and is now the secretary of the Cairns Nautilus Scuba Club. Good morning, Dave.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to Word.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you going? Nice to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, awesome.
So you grew up in the UK, you discovered scuba diving and became an instructor in the 90s while you were living and working in the Middle East.
Right.
But when you moved to Australia, you lived in Darwin for most of your career. And from what I understand, and you were working in something else, not as a diver. And from what I understand, you can't really dive in Darwin because of the crocodiles. Is that true?
Well, it's not strictly true. I used to dive there. I did some training there, and I brought the students back. There's amazing coral reefs there, actually.
Wow.
Nudibranchs are incredible, and there's lots of World War II wrecks and Cyclone Tracy wrecks and debris.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tides are 8-metre tides. You can only dive on 2 or 3 days a month, really, because you need those neap tides.
Yeah.
It's not great. So it's not the place for a diver to live unless they want to travel all the time.
Yeah, so you were obviously living there because of your job. So how did you keep up with your passion for diving?
Yeah, so I used to go over to Indonesia an awful lot. Bali was very close, so it was an easy trip, but also come over to Cairns. So I'd be over here regularly and diving with the operators out here. Yeah, there's nothing better than diving in your own country, your own backyard.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're actually selling Darwin to me. It doesn't sound like too bad of a place to live when you think about how close it is to Bali.
Yeah,
and
it's got some advantages, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's only a short flight up there, isn't it? From Darwin to Bali?
Oh, it's 2 hours, $99. Yep.
Okay, but then eventually you gave in and you're like, I'm going to move to Cairns so that I can
That's
just
right, yeah.
be closer.
So we moved to Cairns. really to be closer to the reef, to save all of that travel, and to be here and to be able to jump on a boat at the weekends or any time the wind is down and we can get out there and dive the wonderful Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, so like many people, you've been drawn here by the magnetic pull of the Great Barrier Reef.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the Nautilus Scuba Club. It formed in 1985, so it must be having its 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah, this year's our 40th anniversary.
Wow.
We were 40 years old in May when we formed our club. Yeah. We've come from a pretty small community social club, if you like, a few members. And these days we're about 400 members.
Wow.
Most of whom live in the Cairns region. We've also got members down in southeast Queensland and one or two interstate, but also the whole region around Cairns, Port Douglas, Townsville, lots of members from there too, and the Tablelands. So yeah, we're a very local club, but we've got a sort of a wider reach as well.
Oh, I see. So even if you're from Perth or Sydney, but you want to come more regularly to dive on the Great Barrier Reef, there's obviously benefits to having a community that you can straight away join up with and go diving with once you get here. So
absolutely. We love to sort of have those people in our club. We encourage people who regularly come here to dive, if they want to dive a few times a year, it's really worth their while joining the club. You get lots of good discounts and special trips that we organise and club weekends.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a person who's partner or something isn't as into diving as you are, then having a ready-made community that you can find a dive buddy or people to go on a trip with.
Yeah, that's really good.
Certainly, yeah.
And it's all organised too, because it's a lot to organise, isn't it? And if you can have that club all ready to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Make their life easier and much more fun. And also we know the reef, we know the places to go, the operators that take us to some nice reefs out there. So it's a good opportunity for visitors too.
Yeah, and people come from all over the world to dive on the Great Barrier Reef, but it's something that sometimes locals take for granted, as just having it on our doorstep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the world's best liverboards and best dive experiences you'll find right here.
Absolutely.
Right out of Cairns. So rather than travelling halfway around the world to go and see something, you can spend that money here and you can have a great experience without all of the hassle of carrying your dive gear and your cameras and your kids and whatever else you've got with you, trying to take them overseas. Diving here is fantastic. The local operators are great. And you meet really interesting people on these trips here as well. I do quite a lot of trips out of Cairns instead of travelling overseas now.
Yeah.
And you'll meet some really cool people, Australians and international visitors on these boats. It's really interesting, really good fun.
Yeah, well, that's one of the highlights of travelling is all the people that you meet from all over the world. But we're lucky in Cairns. We don't need to go anywhere. Everyone comes to us. All the interesting people from all over the world are coming to us.
It.
Yeah, and those people love to meet locals, actually. They really do.
Yeah. A true blue Aussie on this tour. Amazing.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to you before we went on air that Nautilus used to charter the old Tacker when I was working in the Coral Sea doing the shark feed trips. And it's such an amazing group of people. Like, they charter the whole boat. So you've just got all these experienced divers all at once. And then when I went on to Ocean Quest, Nautilus used to come out quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think actually Nautilus Group did a tour in our aquarium not that long ago too. I think they did a private tour.
We did. I think we got the junior group there, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, we do charters here still. For example, we've got a charter later this year in November, I think it is, out on one of the local boats, Spirit of Freedom. And it's a special trip that goes way offshore into the Coral Sea, the sort of places that most people can't get to. And so by having the club having a charter like this, we can get to go to some more special and less visited places as well.
So Spirit, they still go up to Osprey, don't they?
Yeah, they do that. They have a range of traditional trips, and then every now and then they'll do some special ones.
Wow.
And we've managed to jag one.
Yeah, you told me you're going to a far, far eastern reef, even further out than Osprey.
They're so far out, I can't remember the names of the reefs that we're going to. Yeah.
So that's what's really cool. If you're in the Nautilus Scuba Club, instead of just going by yourself, like one or two people, and not knowing what kind of people are going to be on that trip with you, you hire out the entire boat with your fellow club members, and you can actually have a bit more say over the itinerary, and you can go to more remote places. So that's one of the benefits of
weather permitting.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to know what you're doing if you're going out past Osprey.
That's right.
Tell you.
So you've got that Far Eastern trip coming up, and you've also got some group charters overseas coming up.
Yeah, we do a couple of overseas trips a year as well. well. And they vary. Sometimes they're more adventurous. Like we've just come back from Sipadan in Borneo.
Oh, wow.
I didn't go on that one. But we also incorporate some land-based trips as part of that as well because we can. We've got a group of people together. We can get some good deals. And we're going to Palau next year, up in Micronesia. So
is there still spaces on that trip?
No, I think the Palau one, maybe one or two places, yeah. I think there are a couple of places.
Look out. Tanya's got a passport out already.
Yeah.
And really, really, really good deal. Just do it. Join the club, do it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Palau. So
do you ever make it over to Okinawa in Japan?
No, but one of our members goes over there regularly and is off to Japan next week.
Wow.
But no, we haven't been there, but it is on our list. So we put a survey out to members earlier this year on the sort of places that they'd like us to organise trips, and Okinawa's on the list.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's not at the top, but it's on the list.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So I understand you recently did a club joint trip to Christmas Island.
Yeah, I think that was last year. We did 2 trips. It was so well subscribed that we did 2 back-to-back trips, actually.
Yeah, and you went to the Philippines as well?
Yeah, been to the Philippines, to Bataha, out there in the middle of the sea there. Yeah, and we go to Fiji as well. I did a trip to Rainbow Reef, Uni. Yeah, lots of interesting places. And we're going to the Red Sea as well. That's just coming up quite soon.
Oh, that's a place I never
been to. Any spaces left on that trip?
No, that one's
Tanya's bank account's emptying as we speak.
Yeah. These trips do get full pretty quickly, but...
So people, if they join now, it's more sort of like, so you can get ready for a trip next year.
Well, you'll be the first to hear about it, you see.
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits of being a member is you're on the list and you get to hear about it before it gets posted on Facebook and all of that sort of stuff.
If someone books onto one of those trips, everything's organised, is it? How does it work? So let's say I book onto one of your
it depends on the trip. So we have sort of ones that are, you just turn up, and ones where you have to do a bit of work yourself. Yeah, it depends. So
it definitely would take a lot of the stress out of trying to decide where to go, what boat to go on, and
that's right. We do a lot of that research, a lot of that work.
Yep.
Yeah, and with people in the club who have experienced diving those sites all over the world, you know that you're going to get recommendations of the best places to go and hopefully not get ripped off by a dodgy deal, and you're going to get group discounts and stuff.
Yeah, you can take a lot of comfort in the way the trips are organised and that we've dealt with a lot of those uncertainties already.
So a bit like doing a big package, it's all included.
It can be. So that they vary. So we have some like that, and we'll have some that are a bit less strict and stringent. Yeah, it depends. We try to vary it because everyone's got different needs. Some people like to organise things themselves, and other people like it all laid out for them. So we cater for everybody. We're a big club, and we've got lots of different kinds of people.
Good morning, everyone. If you've just joined us, our guest is Dave George, Secretary of the Cairns Nautilus Scuba Club. He's just been telling us about all the amazing group trips and group discounts that you can get by joining your local scuba diving club. Sounds like an amazing way to expand your horizons as a diver, and so you don't have to head out there alone to the reef or just with one or two other people. You can go with a group, you can charter out an entire boat and get really good discounts if you're a member as well. But they also have a really cool photography exhibition every year. So, Dave, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it's probably the biggest event on our calendar, actually, as the club. It's an annual photo competition and exhibition. So it's open to all members of the club. This year, we've got over 500 photo entries to the competition.
From how many competitors?
There's 36 photographers. So it's like 10% of the club, pretty much. And they're ranging from all kinds of photographers, from people using big fancy cameras like I do, right down to people now using smartphones and GoPros. So it's a real range of things. So there's a competition component to this, but the exciting part is really the exhibition that we have as well. And we've just finished. I spent the last few days just setting it up at the Tanks Art Centre in tank number 4. We've got the whole of tank number 4, which, if anyone knows it, is an amazing venue. And we've got it for 3 weeks, the next 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Opens tomorrow, and it's an incredible exhibition. It's probably the largest underwater photography exhibition in the world.
Wow.
That's a big statement, right?
It is a big statement.
It's a big claim.
To have them all in one place like that, there's certainly nowhere else in Australia that has such a big event.
Wow.
And it's free to go and visit. It's open 7 days a week for the next 3 weeks. It's
so
incredible.
that is from the Saturday, the 19th of July. So any listeners out there looking for something free to do on a rainy day, which I think that's a perfect activity.
It's amazing. So we've got photos from, as I said, a whole range of club members, but the quality of the photos is incredible. And you'll be blown away. These are all hobbyists, enthusiasts. They're not professional photographers, but the quality is outstanding, and the types of critters that people have got, the wide-angle scenes that people have been able to shoot, the sharks and the sea lions and the whales and all the kinds of creatures. It's an incredible. I'm so proud of all our members and what they've been able to do. It's just amazing.
Amazing. I'll definitely be checking that out. And you'll have your awards night on the 2nd of August.
Yeah, so as I said, it's a competition primarily, and so on the 2nd of August we have our awards night, and that's our biggest social night of the year as well. And so members, friends, family, visitors, they're all welcome to attend. So it's a big competition with about 11 or 12 different categories of things for different types of cameras, different types of subjects, and there's some video categories as well. And amazing sponsors, both from Cairns and the region, have donated some incredible prizes for some of these awards. Things, like trips out on the liveaboards out of Cairns, overseas trips in PNG in the Philippines, day trips with our local operators, but also some of the smaller local operators that we really like to support and are close supporters of our club. So they're also involved in it. So it's a big range of local sponsors. Yeah, so it's our way of hopefully giving something back to our sponsors as well, and promoting them and exposing them to the wider community.
Do you want to mention a couple more?
Well, I certainly can. So, of course, big liveaboard sponsors out of Cairns being Spirit of Freedom and Mike Ball Dive Expeditions with Spoil Sport. They're big top sponsors of our competition.
Fantastic.
And also Divers Den, of course, they're amazing with their, not just for the photo comp, their everyday sponsorship is just tremendous. But I have to be careful because there's so many, and I want to make sure I list a few more. Passions of Paradise, of course, they're one of our big supporters and great friends. We've even got together with Pure Snorkeling this year as well. They're a new operator here in Cairns. It's a snorkel-focused boat, and I've been out with them, and it's a great experience. You don't have to dive to be a diver. You can snorkel too.
You can get some good photos just by snorkeling.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so peaceful and relaxing. And on their boats, you get to go to some reefs that the big dive and snorkel boats don't get to. So that's a really good experience. Yeah.
Well, the bread and butter of the Nautilus Club, as well as going on all those big annual trips, you've also just got a monthly club dive where you go out on day trips from Cairns, right?
That's right, yeah. So we use the local operators from Cairns and from Port Douglas. We rotate around them, around our sponsors, and they'll set aside a number of places for club members. These boats get quite busy and quite full, but every month we have an allocation on one of the boats. And they look after us on the boats, and it's a great and easy and relatively good value way to get out to the reef.
Yeah, because you do get your group discount.
We get a group discount.
You're not going to miss out. You know that you're going to have a spot every month.
That's right. And if you're diving with the club, you can sometimes get a little bit more freedom when you're diving as well. You can go in buddy pairs rather than with the larger guided groups.
And the boats know that you guys are so experienced, so that makes it so much easier
but we have we have to be careful. We have a range of experiences. I mean, we also encourage people to continue their education and improve their dive skills. So we can use some of these trips to help people do that as well.
Yeah, and you've actually got a scholarship to help people advance their dive skills as well. Yeah,
it's a subsidy, really. So we, as I said, we encourage our members to improve their skills, and it's their safety skills primarily, so they become better divers and more responsible divers. Safety for the reef as well as safety for themselves and their buddies. So things like advanced courses and rescue courses. We have some subsidies in place, and our sponsors offer us discounts on some of those courses as well.
It would be such a great experience because after you do your open water course and your advanced course, then instead of just kind of being left to your own defences, you've got a club of really experienced divers like Dave that you can go and learn and ask questions from. So you're going to gain confidence as a diver much faster than the majority of people who just do their course while they're on holidays and then they don't dive again for 2 years until they go on holidays again.
That's right, absolutely. And look, even if you don't dive every weekend in Cairns, if you're one of these people that likes to go overseas to do your diving on holidays, come and do a dive here before you go. Keep your skills up to date. Get that little refresher course done. and you're in the perfect place. Don't wait until day one of your holiday to do that.
Listeners, if you're into scuba diving or you want to be more into scuba diving, definitely check out the Cairns Nautilus Scuba Club. Where can people head and how do they join?
Yeah, so the best place to head to is our website, which is nautilus-scuba.net. And then there's a membership page through there. You just follow the links on there. It's about $90 a year for membership. Our membership year's just started, so it's a really good time to join.
Wow,
It's
that's
really
good.
cheap.
$90.
It's really cheap, isn't it?
Dude,
You know?
that's amazing.
That's cheap.
Well,
You
it's
get
like
lots of stuff.
you were telling me that once you do like 3 or 4 trips and you add up the discounts that you get, that it would sort of pay that back.
You guys do the maths.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
We've also got an active Facebook page as well. That's free for anybody to get onto. You don't have to be a club member, and you get to find out about us and what we do, and we post updates there. So that's Nautilus Scuba Club Cairns on Facebook. Check us out.
Awesome. So Dave, George from the Cairns Nautilus Scuba Club, I'm really looking forward to seeing that photography exhibition starting tomorrow and hopefully joining you on a dive at some point in the future. And
Absolutely.
thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been great to talk to you.
Thanks, Dave. Awesome, buddy.
And thanks to you, all our listeners, for joining us on Word on the Reef. I'm Tanya Murphy. My co-host is Brett Goodban, and we'll be back next Friday at 10 a.m. with more awesome marine science adventures. Be sure to tune in to Cairns FM 89.1 next Friday to listen to this show. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at instagram.com/Word on the Reef podcast.
Yes.
That's all for this week. Best fishes.
Have a great week, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.